Hello there. Chatbots and voice or digital assistants are one of the most important tools in today's and especially in tomorrow's world. But who are the people that make them work? The conversation designers. My name is Eran Soroka, Head of Marketing Operations for CoCoHub Conversational Component. Today we have a special guest from India, Michelle Parayil, Senior Conversation Designer for Haptik. Thanks for joining us, Michelle. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's get straight into the point. How did you get into conversation design? I see that you were a content writer for apps and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's, I think, a combination of good fortune, being at the right company at the right time and having the right skill set. So I'm an engineer by degree, but I'd always wanted to write. So I started writing freelance writing while I was studying, and my first job was that of a content and UX writer at this really small digital entertainment company. And I really enjoyed being in that mix of technology and writing. And that's when I landed at Haptik in 2017 as the very first conversation designer on the payroll. And that was the time that the company had just started its enterprise business. So and after 3 years, we've gone from designing bots on spreadsheets to like a full-fledged IVA design team with 4 full-time conversation design members and 130 IVAs under our belt. Yeah, so it's been a long journey.
Yeah, and what is the bot or the project that you're most proud of?
So there's so many, and I must say all of them. But I
like he's asking the parent what kids is the favorite.
Right, absolutely. I'll name 2 to keep this short. One would be Rembo, which is an in-house chatbot that we built not for enterprises, it's for consumers everywhere. Rembo is this very fun ninja personality, a bot that actually reminds you about anything that you want throughout your day. The personality is absolutely sarcastic. It's wonderful. It's a full departure from the kind of bots that we do, normally do for an enterprise. And at the other end of the spectrum, I have to name a couple. One would be an implementation that we had for Tata Mutual Funds. It's this investment company where any consumer can just go there and invest. And it's a lovely omni-channel implementation. So we've done bots for their website, for WhatsApp, and it covers a lot of the common queries anybody would have, a newbie who wants to invest or a seasoned investor. So I think we really did well with that. And obviously, I have to name Haptik's WhatsApp implementation for the government of India that we did for the coronavirus, and that implementation has impacted over 25 million users, and it's crazy to us. We didn't start out thinking that so many people would use it, but lovely implementation, all of them.
What is the one thing that every good chatbot or voice assistant must have, in your opinion?
Right. I think there should always be a way to continue the conversation. No real human assistant would ever let a customer just walk outside the door without at least asking them, hey, since I've answered that first question, can I also answer something else for you? And that one thing, and the way you handle a negative case, and the way you continue a conversation no matter what has happened before is, I think, the mark of a great chatbot. Like even a system error, right? That's such a technical software thing, to like a system error when an API fails. But the way you handle that in a conversation, I think really marks a good job.
Tell me about something awkward, funny, amazing that happened to you as a conversation designer.
There are so many things. I think something surprising in my experience as a conversation designer is the repercussions that one piece of bad copy can have on your end user, right? You may forget to include the turnaround time that the customer can expect when an agent is talking to them, when an agent might get back to them, and that one thing can ruin that customer's day if you don't include it, because then they have to get angry, and then they need to follow up, and then they need to say things like, oh, you didn't understand anything I say. So the bubbling repercussions of one small piece of bad copy is something that always surprises me. It's at the back of my head every time I write, because that's what keeps me going and keeps me thinking about, okay, no, I have to think about the 10 different possibilities here, right? So conversation design has such a key role to play there, and you have to be at your best every single day.
Yeah, it's like you have to be at your best, even that the one chatting with you is a virtual. You feel like you are the one chatting, probably.
Yeah. It's
There's probably a lot of people aspiring to be conversation designers watching this. What tip or piece of advice can you give them?
Right. There's just so much that I'd love to say, but I'll just boil this down into three things. One would be start building your own bot. There are so many wonderful platforms out there that will, with so many good resources that you can find. There are publications on Medium. There are platforms that are open source. Start building your own bot first. The second would be cultivate a lot of empathy and curiosity. Don't be afraid of things like, oh, I can't, I'm not a technical person, so I can't do the tech aspect of it. No, but as a conversation designer, tech is just interwoven with the software. So talk to the tech folks, ask why things are a certain way, question things. You might be able to add, bring something into your conversation design from any of all of these aspects of technology and writing and language. So keep asking questions. And finally, keep improving. Conversation design is not a study and leave it kind of field. No matter how many years you put into it, users and data and conversations will always surprise you. There is no single, there are very few principles that you can hold true for all types of users everywhere around the world. So keep looking at data. If you have access to some, to see how people are responding to your bot, keep improving your designs. Yeah, so those three, and it's a growing field. Like jobs will still come no matter what the scenario out there. It's the need of the hour, and something I strongly believe. So yeah, have hope and keep learning.
The ratio between the amount of people writing these bots and voice assistants and the people using it, I think it's one of the biggest in the world.
It's ridiculous how many, because it's everybody wants to adapt it. So
yeah. Why should people check out Haptik and know that it's the coolest place in the world?
So if you're looking for a virtual assistant and you really need to move your digital processes forward and become a digital first company, Haptik.ai. Visit, talk to us, and we'd be happy to build a virtual assistant for you. And if you're a good conversation designer out there, please do reach out to us. We always love talking to people in the field because it's such a small field, and it's just growing. So happy to talk to anyone. Do reach out. Always on LinkedIn and all of the interweb.
Okay. So that's our conversation with Michelle Parayil, Senior Conversation Designer for Haptik. And don't forget to check out our hub at CoCoHub.ai, the place to build, expand, improve, and test your conversational components. Thank you a lot, Michelle, for having us. And take care.
How was that?